On July 12, 1979, Carmine Galante was assassinated in a brutal hit orchestrated by his own underlings, with the tacit approval of the other Mafia families. While dining at Joe and Mary's Italian-American restaurant in Brooklyn, Galante was gunned down by 3 masked men. The murder marked the end of his reign and signaled a significant shift in the dynamics of the New York Mafia. The Galante family, a life story of crime, power, and infamy. The Galante family name is synonymous with organized crime in the United States, particularly within the realms of drug trafficking, murder, and extortion. At the center of this notorious family is Carmine Lilo Galante, whose rise to power within the Mafia left an indelible mark on the criminal underworld. Early life and origins. Carmine Galante was born on February 21, 1910, in East Harlem, New York City, to Italian immigrants Vincenzo and Vincenza Russo Galante. The harsh environment of early 20th century New York, combined with the socio-economic struggles of immigrant families, set the stage for Galante's early induction into a life of crime. By the age of 10, Galante was already involved in petty theft and street fights, showing a natural inclination towards violence and lawlessness. Entry into organized crime. Galante's early criminal activities caught the attention of local gangsters, and by his late teens, he was working for the Mafia as an enforcer. His ruthlessness and efficiency in carrying out hits quickly elevated his status within the organization. Galante became closely associated with the Bonanno crime family, one of the 5 families that dominated organized crime in New York City. By the 1930s, Galante had firmly established himself within the Mafia's ranks. His criminal record expanded to include charges of assault, bootlegging, and robbery. Despite multiple arrests, Galante often evaded long-term imprisonment, thanks to the Mafia's influence and his own cunning. The heroin trade. The 1950s and 1960s marked a significant period in Galante's criminal career as he became deeply involved in the international heroin trade. Recognizing the immense profits to be made from narcotics, Galante orchestrated a massive drug trafficking network that spanned continents. He formed alliances with Sicilian mafia families, creating a pipeline that smuggled heroin from Turkey to the United States via Sicily. Galante's heroin empire, known as the French Connection, flooded American streets with the drug, generating millions of dollars in revenue. This operation solidified his power within the Bonanno family and earned him a reputation as one of the most feared and influential figures in organized crime. However, his ruthless tactics also drew the attention of law enforcement agencies. Power struggles and rise to leadership. The 1970s were a turbulent time for the Bonanno family, marked by internal power struggles and external pressure from law enforcement. In 1971, Joseph Bonanno, the family's longtime boss, was forced into retirement. This power vacuum led to a violent struggle for control, with Galante positioning himself as a key contender. In 1974, Galante was released from prison after serving a 12-year sentence for narcotics trafficking. He wasted no time in asserting his dominance, orchestrating a series of murders to eliminate his rivals and consolidate his power. By 1976, Galante had effectively seized control of the Bonanno family, ruling with an iron fist. Galante's reign was characterized by extreme violence and ruthless tactics. He expanded the family's drug operations, increasing profits, but also attracting significant attention from law enforcement and rival factions. His blatant disregard for the Mafia's traditional code of conduct, particularly his refusal to share drug profits with other families, earned him many enemies. The downfall. Carmine Galante's aggressive and unapologetic approach to crime ultimately led to his downfall. His refusal to adhere to the Mafia's established norms and his monopolization of the heroin trade created significant tensions within the criminal underworld. Other Mafia families, feeling marginalized and threatened by Galante's actions, conspired to remove him from power. On July 12, 1979, Carmine Galante was assassinated in a brutal hit orchestrated by his own underlings, with the tacit approval of the other Mafia families. While dining at Joe and Mary's Italian-American restaurant in Brooklyn, Galante was gunned down by 3 masked men. The murder marked the end of his reign and signaled a significant shift in the dynamics of the New York Mafia. Aftermath and legacy. Galante's death did not mark the end of the Galante family's influence. The remnants of his drug empire continued to operate, though with diminished power and reach. The Bonanno family, now under new leadership, distanced itself from Galante's legacy, attempting to rebuild and stabilize in the wake of the chaos he left behind. The Galante family's story serves as a stark reminder of the violent and treacherous nature of organized crime. Carmine Galante's life, marked by ambition, ruthlessness, and ultimately betrayal, encapsulates the dark allure and inevitable downfall that often accompanies a life in the Mafia. Personal life and character. Beyond his criminal exploits, Carmine Galante was known for his distinct personality and quirks. Nicknamed Lilo, meaning cigar in Italian, Galante was rarely seen without a cigar clenched between his teeth. This signature trait became emblematic of his persona, symbolizing his unyielding and brazen nature. Galante's personal life was as tumultuous as his criminal career. He was married to Helen Marulli, with whom he had 3 children, James, Camille, and Angela. Despite his violent lifestyle, Galante maintained a strong bond with his family, often shielding them from his criminal activities. However, his infidelity and numerous affairs were well known, further complicating his personal relationships. Impact on the Mafia. Carmine Galante's impact on the Mafia extended beyond his immediate actions. His aggressive expansion of the heroin trade set a precedent for other crime families, leading to increased involvement in narcotics trafficking across the Mafia's ranks. This shift towards drug-related activities brought immense profits but also heightened scrutiny from law enforcement agencies, contributing to the eventual decline of traditional organized crime structures. Galante's disregard for the Mafia's code of conduct and his monopolistic tendencies also influenced the internal dynamics of the Mafia. His actions underscored the fragile nature of alliances within organized crime and highlighted the constant power struggles that defined the Mafia's operations. Galante's assassination, sanctioned by other Mafia families, illustrated the lengths to which the organization would go to maintain balance and order. Law enforcement and public perception. Galante's criminal activities and his eventual assassination had a significant impact on law enforcement strategies and public perception of the Mafia. His blatant involvement in the heroin trade and his violent tactics prompted a concerted effort by law enforcement agencies to dismantle his operations. The French Connection investigation, which targeted Galante's heroin smuggling network, became one of the most notable anti-narcotics efforts of its time. Galante's assassination, captured in graphic photographs that were widely circulated in the media, shocked the public and brought renewed attention to the violent world of organized crime. The image of Galante's lifeless body, cigar still in his mouth, became an enduring symbol of the Mafia's brutality and the ultimate futility of a life devoted to crime. The Galante family's continued presence. Despite Carmine Galante's death, the Galante family name continued to be associated with organized crime. Various members of the extended Galante family remained involved in criminal activities, though none achieved the same level of notoriety as Carmine. The Bonanno family, now under different leadership, sought to distance itself from Galante's legacy while navigating the challenges of a changing criminal landscape. The Galante family's story is a testament to the enduring nature of organized crime and the complex interplay of power, loyalty, and betrayal that defines it. Carmine Galante's life and death serve as a stark reminder of the high stakes and inherent dangers of a life in the Mafia. Conclusion. The life story of the Galante family, centered around the notorious figure of Carmine Galante, is a tale of ambition, violence, and the relentless pursuit of power. From his early days as a street thug to his reign as one of the most feared mafia bosses, Galante's journey encapsulates the allure and peril of organized crime. Carmine Galante's involvement in the heroin trade, his ruthless rise to power, and his eventual assassination underscore the volatile nature of the criminal underworld. His legacy, marked by both immense profits and brutal violence, continues to resonate in the annals of Mafia history. The Galante family's story is not just a chronicle of crime, but also a reflection of the broader dynamics of organized crime in the United States. It highlights the constant struggle for dominance, the fragile alliances, and the ever-present threat of betrayal that define the Mafia's existence. In the end, Carmine Galante's life serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the high cost of a life devoted to crime. His rise and fall illustrate the transient nature of power and the inevitable consequences of a path marked by violence and treachery. The Galante family, with its complex legacy, remains an enduring symbol of the dark allure and ultimate futility of organized crime.